Hello to the chicos, hello to the chicas. Welcome back to the next video. I owe you an apology for two things, lovely peeps. One of them is that YouTube has been neglected a little bit. I still am uploading my usual at least 3 videos a week, or I believe I am. But yeah, I am under the pump from various directions. Deadlines in particular are really catching up with me, so there are some content creating jobs that I need to complete, which are not YouTube related, also known as awesome chessable courses coming your way, and that is the reason also why the streaming is a little bit missing out at the moment. I'm going to promise you that I will catch up on that once I complete my work to the best of my ability. Now, also I got a few complaints about the quality of the audio, so I have adjusted a few things. I'm curious to see how this video is going to work. For today, I'm going to discuss a topic with you that might have come up earlier on in my previous videos, but I really do think that it is something that needs to be constantly talked about, because it is an aspect of the game that a lot of club level players mishandle, is the best way to put it. And that is that what to do when our opponent plays unexpected, bordering the silly, extraordinary, unusual stuff. And my general go-to in this regard is, and someone actually tweeted, it was Neil Bruce, legendary chess punk. If you are not following the chess punks, by the way, on Twitter, you should, or join them, or, you know, be a chess punk. It's cool. It's really cool. It's good for you. So yeah, he made a tweet saying that following ChessCoachAndras' advice, which is that crazy silly moves always get punished by regular normal moves, which is the essence of this video as well. Sort of resonated with him, and then he posted a game in which he refuted beautifully some utter garbage opening. And this is a very conflicting topic, because what you really need to develop here as a skill, or not necessarily a skill, but a mindset, is that you must actually at one point in your head call your opponent's moves garbage. You actually must do this. You have to disrespect what they are doing. You don't disrespect the guy who is doing it, but you disrespect what they do. And the reason for this is that because otherwise you do not have that gut reaction of, if this is garbage, I must punish it. So if the move that is coming at you, which is very clearly garbage, like that one there, if I don't react to that inside my head going like, dude, that's like not gonna work, but I'm like, ooh, I didn't expect that, but okay, then you're not going to address it appropriately, right? So it's very simply, that's how it works. And I'm pretty sure that I could bring up lots of terrible analogies in life, you know, you would go like, yeah, that was a lame analogy, but we get the picture. So if you are cooking and the edge of the plate catches on fire, you grab a glass of water and you pour it on, and it's all fine. If you arrive home from work and your house is on fire, you then call the fireys. There are appropriate measures, and you adjust them according to what you are observing. So let me tell you what happened in this game. I'm not showing you the players, but believe me when I say it, and I'm gonna link the game anyway. I'm playing here a 25-37 rated blitz game. I'm 25-60 at the time of the game. So very important to note that this was played, and I'm like, garbage, but he's 2500. I don't care. And that's exactly here the big point that we need to clarify, that very often we need to make that distinction that you're not playing the opponent, you're playing the board. And if on the board their first move is this, then it doesn't matter if it's Magnus Carlsen or someone who joined the club yesterday, it remains garbage. Which, by the way, could lead to another opening that I dearly love, and how that is assessed based on whether Magnus Carlsen constantly plays it or not. So g4, I'm like, okay, grob, I'm going to address it like I should. I played d5, bishop g2, and I don't want to preempt here a potential video, but I'm telling you right now that the best way to refute the grob is to accept it. So play c6, take, allow this queen b3 shenanigan, which is the whole point of the group that they will attack these two. Then of course you're going to jettison this, and after knight d7, white is just dead lost after how many, like 5-6 moves. They can take on d5 because rook here, queen c6, rook here wins the bishop back home, and otherwise it's just a cluster disaster what white has done. But I wasn't in the mood to figure all this out, and I just thought that, okay, I will play c6 here. That preempts c4, g4 is hanging. Now, I got a question mark for this, but it's a bit harsh in the sense that g4 is a bad move that immediately hands a large advantage to me. c6 is a bad move in that it's not the best, but it doesn't give the advantage back. So those question marks are definitely by any means equal. So now g4 is hanging, and I believe that from here on I am really doing what I like to refer to as normal chess. So I'm punishing the weird, the unusual, the odd, the extraordinary with the normal ordinary. That means center, development, king safety, attack, and aggression. So let's see what that looks like. e5, center. Now this is hanging too. He plays h4. Again, I go like, this is not okay. This is not how you're meant to play chess. And so I'm gonna punish you for this, bro. Now, at this point, I had a couple of ideas that occurred to me. One of them was that because of my central formation, I sort of had a feeling that he might want to develop with e3, knight e2, instead of putting the knight on f3, which would allow me to bite into it right away with e4. Also note that I have got a little bit of a problem here as black to solve, and that is that in every single opening, as best as you can help it, you would want to put your knights here and here, being the most effective to cover the central squares. Neither is possible. But if I put the knight here or here... Wow, someone just followed my stream. Am I accidentally streaming? No, okay, that was weird. Yeah, if I put the knights here and here, then they are blocking both of the bishops. And so here, I need to violate an opening principle, which is that usually you don't develop bishops before knights. But now I have to, because that is the fastest way to develop my minor pieces. And so I am happy to violate a rule because there is a sound justification behind it. And that is that this is how I'm developing the fastest. And also this move is quite a pain because now he cannot play with e3. Knight f3, e4 is excellent for me. And so now their development has been delayed. d3 and instantly back to normal. Right? I only played the bishop move because I didn't want to block it in. But now it's knight d7. Maggie Carlsen couldn't play a better move there. Develop, bring the dudes out. He plays c4. And that was the second challenge when I felt that I needed to violate a rule. But again, I felt it was fundamentally justified. d5 is hanging. I don't want to play knight e7 because that blocks the bishop in. But I also didn't want to play d4 because I felt that it was my interest to open up the position rather than closing it. That being said, d4 is definitely, this was my other candidate move, alongside takes. Now, if you have watched my course about center, you would know that I absolutely despise a trade that is like this, because that means that we traded this for this, which is central for non-central. So you would go like, oi, coach, you're teaching us not to do this and now you're doing it. Yes, there was a reason behind it, and that is that I am now 3 versus 1 in terms of development, and I have a game-winning threat with queen b6, after which, insanely, there is no way to defend f2. It's quite hilarious. Check this out, for argument's sake, I put this knight here, queen b6, and you can't defend that. e3 is pinned, knight h3 gets taken. Oopsie daisies. And so, kind of, I'm developing here with a tempo. He plays knight c3, back to normal. Bring the knight. This is very odd that both of my knights are here. I don't play anything at all that looks like this. So that was brought upon me as a circumstance, but still, I'm looking at this and I'm like, dude, you are in trouble, man. Like, I am completing development and you have got nothing. And it's still unclear how this knight gets out because of various issues, although here I guess he probably should have played knight f3. The bishop doesn't exactly have a good square, so there are problems around here in abundance that he will have to solve. And even after knight f3, castles is not really great because a quick knight f5 take, knight h4, is going to hurt them big time. Now they played here knight e4, wanting to go for the bishop. And again, I just was so happy when this happened, because I'm like, ah, okay. So again, the same piece moves. Yeah, you will get the bishop, because if I go here bishop d2, I didn't like that. And if I don't move the bishop, then knight d6 or takes, for that matter, will get the bishop. But I'm like, I don't care, man. Take it. Because now he spent 1, 2, 3 moves to take a piece that moved once. And look at the position now. I have got everybody out, plus the rook is coming with the tempo against one developed piece. What have I done in the past 10 moves? Nothing that was out of the ordinary. Develop, 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 and develop. I didn't try to refute his nonsense. I wasn't looking for instant knockouts. I didn't try to copy his silly stuff. I just did what I'm meant to do when I am rated 1000. Control the middle, put your pieces out, castle, you win. That's how you beat 1000 rated players. Guess what? That's how you beat 2600 rated players if they play garbage. I did call it garbage. I'm playing accordingly. He takes, I took, second mistake by the way. And b3, again, my mind is immediately going like, you can do this, bro. Like, where are your pieces? What are you doing? He should be madly trying to play knight f3 and castle out of here before this turns into a major disaster. And to actually demonstrate the level of the disaster we are talking about here, bishop f3 is best move here for white. Reason being is that after knight f3, and that showcases, by the way, the level of trouble we're talking here. If I go e4, knight d4, I have knight d3 check. Oops. How good was that bishop on g4, right? Pretty awesome motif. And after knight e5, rook d8, queen here, bishop back. It is looking very, very menacing. Even bishop e6. Actually, I looked at a line with bishop e6 here. Oh yeah, that's right. And then after bishop e3, check this out. f6 traps the knight. Oh man, that is sweet stuff. But there is better stuff to come. So watch this. b3, rook d8 tempo. Like, I feel like I'm Morphy here. Not because if I'm as good as him, but that's the spirit in which this game is going. I'm just coming out at him, tempo, 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 and the poor guy keeps on moving his knights 4 times. The queen now is moving all over the shop, and my moves are all coming like a massive hammer blow. Look at this knight f5, knight d4, center, tempo on the queen. Absolutely legendario. Guy is totally dead here. Absolutely dead. He plays bishop b2, knight d4. Thank you. Although I believe here I may have had a better move because there the bar dropped. Maybe. What did I miss here? Nope, knight d4 best. Knight d4 best. Now after bishop takes, which would have been best, ed, and then pawn d3 is just on your bike. Queen c3. And again, I'm like, oh boy, develop, 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 develop. Everybody's perfectly participating in the action. I went like, I will castle, and now I'm really, really ready to strike. And I knew that he couldn't really do too much. Already this position was beyond repair. He ended up playing knight f3. I want to show you a very, very cool variation with e3. Here my plan was, and this is a breathtaking line, and this is where you go like, okay, I'm ready to fight. Their king is stuck in the middle. I need to kill. And you have to verbalize it in your head like that. You can't just go like, okay, they attacked my knight. Let me see. That type of thinking is not gonna take you anywhere. Literally. What you are going, what you should be saying to yourself here is that, right, this guy hasn't done a single thing right for the last 10 moves. My army is fully developed. My knights are ready to jump. Let me see how I kill this dude. These are your two choices. You either do this, and then you are going to look for aggressive, very, very decisive moves in nature. We just go like, my knight is hanging. Okay, let's see what I can do. And more than certainly, or more than likely, you are going to end up with moves like this. If you go like, I need to kill this guy now, then you are going to look for moves like this. which introduces 2 different checking threats. It's really, really cool stuff. And after take, it opens up the e file. Juicy, as I would like to say this. And now, really, there is not an awful lot to do, because if the queen goes sideways to here or here, worst case scenario, you check the bishop down and that's on your bike. But even better is this. Check this out here. Check. Now, king here instantly loses to bishop d3 and knight e2 rookie to see you later, alligator. And so he has to go king here. And now comes the awesomeness. As Simon would say now, pause the video if you want to solve it. Bam, baby. Boomski. We are not sparing any material to get to the king. And now after takes, king here, rook here, checkmate Reno, baby. That's how you punish very poor, provocative, fundamentally unsound chess. But it won't work if you don't put behind it the right mentality. And that is that I need to punish. Now, my opponent here played queen c3, I castled, and he played knight f3, which was a very poorly timed right move, because he just arrived to this party way too late. And after knight e4, a very awkward situation has arisen where this is on, and so is f2 indirectly, so that if he moves the queen anywhere, I go check, checkmate. Oops. And so that was the time when my 25-37 rated opponent decided to suspend any further resistance. Equally charming would have been if he had played c5, queen a6. Now we have got mate here, queen is hanging. And if the queen moves, for example, here, I can just take the queen, knight c2, check. Then I win the rook, then there is back rank issues on top of that. So that was it. So let's have a quick look again, very briefly, just in summary. So he plays silly stuff, then silly stuff, then silly stuff. And from here on, it's just total one-way traffic where I do nothing that could be labeled as strange. Like, why would you do that? Not a single move I play here, and I'm not saying they are great, but they are super natural. Develop, develop. I release that tension so that I don't have to worry about d5. Develop, 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 develop. And every single thing I developed went towards the middle of the board. Everything was directed that way. So now there is this immense energy in my pieces that are completely unmatched by what he has done. And so it's only natural that he's just falling apart here. And that's it. That's all she wrote. That's a 25-37 player beaten with black in 17 moves. Now, obviously, it's a blitz game. It doesn't mean that this guy is a terrible chess player. But what it certainly does mean is that garbage openings, even in the hands of a good player, and garbage positions could and will have to be punished with this kind of mentality. And I really recommend you to try to acquire this. The difficulty, and I'm fully aware of this as a coach, is that people find it difficult to draw the line of where is it just meh and where is it's terrible, I really need to jump on that. And there is no obvious answer to this, but there are tendencies. Like, if you play against a grandmaster, you are 1600, you are likely going to lose if they play g4, but then afterwards they play more or less standard chess. But when they keep on backing it up, one oddball with another, followed by another, that's when you go like, this is really not meant to be happening. And another very good way, and a lot of people are extremely reluctant to rely on this concept, is the, have you ever seen that played by a great player working? And you go like, never. But that's a very good indication that that's probably bordering the absolute rubbish too. So that's another good way to go. My third go-to, which is something that I always tell beginners, that if your opponent, and yourself for that matter, in the first 15 to 20 moves of the game, play moves that are either not developing or fighting for the center, so your move is doing neither of these, you are likely playing something very, very bad. Look at that. That's, well, that's a sort of a semi-measure because it allows to develop the bishop. That's a no-go. Like, that's neither. That's neither. And in the meantime, I was allowed to dominate the center. Then here he plays 2 moves in a row with the same piece. Then he develops the bishop in 2 moves instead of developing it 1. Then he plays 2 back-to-back queen moves. These are not what the doctor would prescribe for a successful opening. And there we go. We have a fully developed army ready to jump against one that is just scattered across the board. So that is going to be our video for today. I really, really recommend you to think it through and try to apply it to your own games. It's a very difficult concept to make it actually happen on the board. It's very easy to listen to this video and you go like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. I totally get that. But to actually apply it in your own games, depending on what level you are playing, you could easily find quite difficult, but nonetheless you should. And my last piece of advice for you is to, if you have to choose to err on one side of the spectrum, always err on the side of arrogance. Remember, it's arrogance in here. We are beautifully mannered and lovely behaving gentlemen and gentle ladies. But what's happening here should always err on the arrogance side, meaning on the aggression side. So if you are not sure if a certain move is total garbage or not, but you have never seen it and it doesn't make sense to you, then go like, nah, shouldn't have happened. I reckon that's garbage. Much rather than acknowledge it like, yeah, that's totally normal. My opponent plays doggy ears in the first 4 moves of the game. That's stock standard. No, it's not. It's garbage. So call it. Be a risk taker, and if you are not sure, but it looks sus, call it rubbish, approach it aggressively, and you tell me the results. Thanks for watching. I'll be back with more soon. Bye.